Too, by the way, my butt.
Yeah, I'll edit out your butt. So, welcome to Beacon Hills After Dark, listener Q&As, Momo's Apartment Edition, where we get all this wonderful natural light. Love it. Bring up a little bit. Yeah, get up in that light.
I was told earlier today that my new picture is flawless. And
it is really cute. I was like, look at this heifer acting like she cute.
Every now and then, I take a good photo. And when I take
but you gotta cherish those times. I do that too, where I'm like, oh my god, I got a good angle.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, like, my makeup is usually really nice in person, but I was never really good at taking photos, especially pictures of myself.
Cameras don't like black people. I'm gonna say that it is.
As a photographer, I think cameras actually do love black skin.
No, but I mean, we don't know how to get cameras to love us. I think that's when it comes to lighting.
Most cell phone, especially cell phone cameras, the way that they're made, they're not made to really show our skin tones off properly unless you really, really, really like adjust it.
Have a nice
when I use a manual camera, like some of my favorite subjects were African Americans, Latinos, Asians, like all the minority skins, especially on black and white film, beautiful.
Oh my God.
I was always in a dark room with my friends, doing pictures of them. Digital cameras are pretty good too. You have to,
you just have to mess with all the settings.
You have to set them up properly. But I always tell that to people when because even my sister would take photos and stuff, and I'm just like, she's like, why do my pictures look like the ones you took? I'm like, yeah, because I did everything manually.
Exactly.
You can't do that with a cell phone.
That's why I miss having a dark room. Kids don't really understand the niceness of having a dark room and being able to kind of deal with the lighting and the exposure.
You learn how to actually
see. So much. How to see, yeah.
I used to tell people all the time, that's actually when I was in my drawing classes, me being able to draw better and actually see black and white better was because I did darkroom. I actually was able to kind of picture stuff easier, like when I take photos. Even when I take color photos now, you've seen some of my digital photos?
I don't know if I have.
I'll have to show you. So I did a whole thing.
I have a life journal with like my old photography from high school on it.
I did a series called Isolation, and it was actually it was with my friend Yuha, because she was one of my muses, and she would house it, and this house was fantastic. Like they were like an artsy family, so they would have like tile murals on their walls and stuff. The pictures in that place with her came out beautiful, and it was my first time doing digital work. And people used to tell me it looked like film stills, and I was like, nice. I will take that.
Yes.
Just give me money.
Girl, exactly.
Okay, let's start this.
Yes. Beacon Hills After Dark listener Q&As for episode 508. Ouroboros. What does Ouroboros mean? I'm thinking of burrow, which isn't right.
Well, I was automatically thinking of the... automatically when I first thought of it, I was like, are they trying to say the Aurora Borealis? Like, you would want to wiki it. Because
No, I want actually the literal translation, because I know it has something to do with, like...
No, that's why I said do wiki so you can find out what country it's based on. Because, like I said, the symbol I've seen in both Asia and in South America. And knowing them...
It's that U that throws me off, because Oro would be like gold, but, what does Ouroboros... Like, I know what it means, but I'm wondering what the actual translation is, what the literal translation. Ouroboros, a circular symbol depicting
a snake or a dragon. I was right when I said that last night. Sweet.
Oh, yeah, they said it. We talked about that.
Well, first of all, I don't trust anything Teen Wolf says. I have to go based on my own mythology and knowledge.
True. I don't want to... Oh, it means tail devourer. Huh. How did they get that? I guess.
Jeff Davis has this thing that's called I Go to Wiki. I click on a mythology.
Exactly.
Or I keep clicking until I find something that I actually want to highlight.
So, as we like to call it, autofellatio. Because that's basically what's happening.
Since it's a tail devourer, it's so wrong. It's so many ways.
When you devour your own tail.
I might end up looking it up and then posting it onto our blog just so people can read.
Thank you to all the nannies. Oh, I'm Sticky Keys, of course. That right there is Momo. Say hi, Momo.
Hey.
Yeah. We, oh, thank you to all the nannies that sent wonderful links to Dylan O'Brien pictures. I'll probably reblog those. 2 Black Girls Love Dylan O'Brien. But most of them I'd seen, but some of them I hadn't. So
Megatron also said hello.
Did she?
I talked to her.
Okay, we're going to talk later then, because I want to know what's going on with my... Nani Anon says, hi. If you talked about this and I missed it, I apologize. But do you think Teen Wolf will fall under 1 million viewers and ratings? Seems like they haven't yet. If they haven't yet, it won't happen this season. Are they still trying to BS the numbers? Looking forward to the podcast as always. Yay! So their penultimate episode, the one right before the finale, is usually the one that tanks pretty hard, oddly enough.
Which is weird because every other show, that episode is usually the one that everyone watches.
But like the last couple of seasons, that's been the one that just bites it. And
which is so strange.
Now, it's a little bit weird because this show only has 10, this season only has 10 episodes. And so, I think that if it's going to get under 1 million, it's got to be that episode. It's got to be the next one. I think the finale will be fine. We were so close. It was like, last week was 1.09. For this past week, it was like 1.1.
They were really right there. They were
just right there. But they did get well under 1 million for the Twitter mention. So I was very happy about that. But
you should not be this happy for their pain, but she is. I'm kind of like, whatever.
Teen Wolf has set the bar for me not caring. And I'm just like, I hate you guys so much. But I love you, but I hate you. My sister, my mother, my sister, my mother.
It's called hate watching for a reason.
But it's like, oh.
And that's why I said, I
don't want to have to hate watch. I want to watch it and enjoy it.
I was talking about hate watching with True Detective, and I realized that I actually stopped watching this current season of True Detective in like the 3rd episode. But the last 2 episodes I watched with Greg the rest of the way through. Mm-hmm. But I realized I was like that. I really couldn't hate watch, at least with Teen Wolf I could.
Yeah.
It's really sad when Teen Wolf was actually better than another show that was actually usually better.
Which is, oof. Yeah. And so,
so people don't watch the current season of True Detective. It's horrible.
Answered this on the Q&A. Stay tuned.
I think actually, honestly, I don't think they'll hit under 1 million this season. If they do, that will be a blessing.
What I think could happen.
I think it's going to happen for next season.
Exactly. Depending on what their big cliffhanger is, which we'll talk about more because there are some questions about it. But I think that could be enough where they're expecting people to hang on for that aren't going to hang on for that. So we'll see.
Agree.
This season's kind of a mess.
I still don't know what's happening this season. Like you could tell me multiple times,
and I'd be like,
happened, and I'd be like, I still don't know what the point of the season is.
Mm-hmm. Turkish bacon, love it. My goodness, this show is the worst. So frustrating. Of the many times Scott should feel insecure or guilty, he's feeling this way because of these random chimeras. The sheriff really made me angry, though. What are they going to do with him? I was never one to buy into the fandom's idea of the sheriff as an awesome dad. Canon has shown that he's not. None of the parents are. Except maybe Melissa, and even then.
Melissa has her moments.
Yeah. But now he cares about all these dead folk and the rule of the law. Get on out of here, man, and pay attention to your son's mental state.
See, my love of the sheriff is because I happen to like that actor a lot, and he was Johnny Cage. So I mean, like
he was Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage gets him very far.
Yes, especially among us
because he has
people.
said some stuff on Twitter, and he has said some other stuff just in person, and you're like, Lyndon.
Honestly, my favorite parent is still Papa Argent. Because I don't know, I like the Argent family more. I like their dynamic more. Mm-hmm. Papa Argent was like, look, I want to kill all these people. I don't care the consequences. I'm trying to protect
he had a vision, and he was willing to course correct.
Exactly. And the thing is, he was willing to work with them when he had to. But he was like every adult. I don't need to talk to these damn kids for any type of damn opinion. And
because they're giving us a conflict with the sheriff that should have been a conflict as soon as the sheriff learned about Supernatural.
Exactly. What, third season?
Yeah, third season. And I'm like, as soon as he learned, he should have been like, oh my God, what am I going to do now that I know we have these?
It would have made so much sense to him. It would have been like, that's where he would have been like, now I understand what's been going on when it comes to all these murders and all these weird things happening. This is where I need to figure out what I'm going to do with these kids that are putting themselves in danger when they're so young, but they can't stop being in danger. Like, all the things that should have happened that season, they're doing it now, and I'm just like, it's too late for you. You're in too deep.
Because if the most busy part of your day was that you basically kidnapped and arrested an underage Asian girl.
That sounds so freaky when you say it like that. You
really need to start redefining your parameters of what you're doing.
Really creepy, sir, now that you said it like
it's
that.
It's like, you shouldn't be like, oh, I'm upholding the law. When you look at the situation, and she's this tiny little sniveling girl, but because, she has supernatural powers, she could be a weapon. But I'm like, you've done no research on her. You have no idea.
Even when they put the handcuffs on her because she's an electrician.
Exactly.
So
she could have fried them all up.
Exactly. She was controlling herself.
Gonna make that poor little girl. And then tried to be cute and be like, oh, I'm the good guy here. Take those cuffs off her. Because if she did it wasn't take those cuffs off her because we need to actually do our job and we need to actually see this through as a regular investigation. It was, because if she did do it, then it was definitely self-defense and that's okay. Little Kira. And I'm like, no! You take these off of me because I will sue you for every penny.
Well, my thing is that, damn it, when's your son going to get arrested? Because he killed like 100 people. He was killing people left and right.
Girl.
But like I said, actually, you know what?
That's why this whole Styles guilt thing is equally as stupid.
That's why I said, I like Melissa. I think she's a hard parent. She's just never in Scott's life.
She's just absent.
She's always working. But to me, she's still a good parent because she did try to take care of Scott. She tried to take care of Isaac when he was there. And half the time when the kids are in her house.
She took care of all them kids,
She's like, half the time she's just like, look, as long as you guys don't burn my house down.
Because she gonna come in the next day and she gonna go like, oh, I need to lay down. Let me go sit on the couch. And she's gonna be like, what is, it smells like a doctor's lamb in here. What happened? And, because, Scott did not Febreze nothing.
Yeah.
Theo probably did. Theo was like, oh, shoot. Let me get everybody on my side.
But can I say, I like the Yukimuras of the family.
I love the Yukis.
Like that's the thing.
They're ride or die.
But they're problematic and they know it. Like that's the
thing.
They know
it.
They know they're problematic.
Because they had somewhere, wherever they're taking her, they had somewhere to take her. They're like, oh, girl, get back in the car.
And then you had to
We're going back to New York.
And then you had to up and leave. And that's the thing. They took their daughter out of the situation because they know it's going to go down.
I love it.
Like I said, the mama could keep secrets. Daddy's perfect, though. Papa Yukimura is perfect.
I need Papa Yukimura, though. I need him just to take one law class. I just need him, because I feel like once he's informed, he'll be dope. But he was like, yeah, it was mine. I took a replica, and then no one asked you for all this? Okay, then.
He was just like, just in case they're trying to charge my daughter, I'm going to say it's me so I can go to jail and work jail.
It wouldn't even got that far. I'm like, you let my daughter go right now.
He's the self-sacrificing.
And Mama was like, I don't know what's going on with y'all U.S. politics, but I guess so. Yeah, she got up and then she left. She was like, ow. Ow. Let me go. And she knew that Mama McCall was a nurse.
Yeah.
And so she was like, yeah, she said, oh, Mama McCall's a nurse. Let me go over to the McCall's house. Oh, she's not home. I'm just going to lay out here.
She blatantly was just like, let me lie to the sheriff's face. Blatantly.
And so, unless you got a different story, do you?
Do you have witnesses? Do you have fingerprints?
Kira,
Mama's been around for too long and she knows how to get around shit.
That whole thing was
She's the type that would talk her way out of a ticket.
No, wouldn't even be, like, the officer wouldn't even have, he'd be like, can I see license and registration, and no. But you can see this record button as I record our conversation.
Oh my gosh, she totally would. That's why I said they're problematic, but they are flawless.
Yeah.
In problematic ways.
They're the black family of this show. They are the black family of this show. That's why I need Dr. Coco to be around so he can be like, mm-hmm. And then I need Mason's
Dr. Coco was just like, I don't even want to deal with any of this. Like, I'll see my son sooner or later at home, but I'm going to be at the hospital working. He knows where to find me. So I swear, has he had a scene with Liam since he entered the show?
You would never even know that they were related. If you just started watching the season, you're like, who's that black guy? There's a black doctor? No. A black sheriff?
The best parent on the damn show, actually,
Only because he doesn't let his kids interact with Scott or the BHAD or anyone else in Beacon Hills. That's why he was in Russia. He was checking on his babies. He was like, just y'all. Okay.
He's the best parent out of all of them.
He is. He pays all his child support on time.
He's like, fuck these hoes.
Right? Okay, I love how Mason pushed himself into everything. No one ever has to call him. He'll just show up. Did Theo even walk over? Theo even walked over and hugged him. I swear, he saw that Skio hug and was like, me next, and walked over to Theo and hugged him. First of all, Theo walked up to Mason. Uh-huh. The person who said me next was Malia.
Malia was all about
and she forgot. She was like, oh, yes, boo, hey, okay.
And like I said, Scott was looking way.
Yeah, Scott was like.
The look on Scott's face when he saw them hugging was just like, hold
Because at first he was like, wait, that's a nice moment, and, it should have been me because, I'm the alpha. Wait a minute. And then he was like, stars.
Because let's be honest, Mason was first of all, we should be happy Mason just kind of pops up shit because he's the only one with some common sense right now.
He got Scott out of his little thing. He's the only one not to be stupid enough.
He's the only one researching. He's the only one who's like, hey, let's put some common sense into this. Don't any of you guys talk? Because guess what? Mason's the only one talking to everyone in the group.
Everybody.
He's talked to Lydia.
Yep.
He's talked to Liam.
Yep.
He's talked to Scott.
Kira.
He's talked to Kira. He has talked to Theo. He's talked to everyone in the group. No one else is communicating except for Mason. And Mason's kind of like, okay, so I know you guys want to keep me here because I'm human, but you know what? I'm going to go with you because you guys seem to be always up in some shit.
Yeah.
So let me go.
And he was like, and I noticed, Scott, that you were having kind of a breakdown, so I'm going to be there to extend a hand and tell you that you can do it.
And the thing is that he fought to be in it because he was just like, the moment that I had to see a berserker blown up in front of me, I was like, I am a part of this.
Yeah.
That was my life on the line.
Well, that's what I say. You gonna let Corey hang around and he's in the group hug and giving people hugs, and then you gonna talk bad about Mason and act like he can't be in it? I'm like, no, Mason was directly affected by you guys. So no, let him be all up in it.
You need someone who's going to be able to research and not be down taken under hallucinations.
And evidently, he's the only one with money in this group, too, because Mason comes up with some cash. Yes.
Well, he was the one, wasn't he the one with the leather jacket that got borrowed by Mason died? He was just like, so what about my jacket?
Like my jacket.
He's like, that leather jacket.
And then Derek took it. It's so sad.
But no, that's why I said Mason's an important part to this show.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, if Mason's going to be the one that ends up figuring out how everything ends up, just like Isaac did it last season before.
So Danny said, and I actually love this idea, he was like, Scott needs to lose his alpha. And then he needs to go through the process of earning it back. So he can, and I said, that would be amazing.
And I would never have seen that before.
Especially if Theo got the alpha, or at least took that leadership role, because it's a way of keeping Cody Christian on the show as still being that foil to Scott, where Scott's like, I hate that guy. But then I also have to realize that he's helping us, and I have to realize what it really means to be an alpha.
Because Theo's going to end up eating all of you when you're not looking, whatever. But
and I know you're going to be looking, and he's going to make sure you're looking. He's like, hey.
Is he going to be like Hannibal Lecter with like one of his kills when he was literally feeding the guy himself? They were at the table and Hannibal's like he actually was slowly cooking the guy down, but he actually kept the guy alive so the guy would have conversations with him at the table. They were doing flashbacks with this. And the guy's just like, I'm getting kind of hungry, so I guess I'm going to have to eat myself. And Hannibal's just like, I made this, flamboyant. Because you know how Hannibal is. He likes to cook everything in wine. He likes to cook everything in... What?
I don't know about this. I'm so scared.
It was beautiful. beautiful.
No, he's not that bad.
Because he makes everything look. He makes everything look so beautiful. Just like they were, he fed these this professor and his wife, one of their co-workers, and they didn't know. And he explained how he made everything, and they were talking about it like, this is so good. And of course, Scully from X-Files, she's like looking like, I know what this is. And I was livid.
I wonder if they would turn into Wendigos.
I would love that.
Stupid stuff.
But can I just say that that's the reason I love Hannibal, is because it makes me want to eat as I watch it.
No. No, you didn't need to say that.
It makes me hungry. I've eaten during the show.
So this is the last episode of Q&As. While we're going to send Momo to the Icon House. I'm going to take her on a little visit. We're just going to do a tour. An involuntary tour of the Icon House for you.
It's an amazing show. It's very well written, very well acted. Lawrence Fishburne
and
actually survives.
I just need you to act
What about my husband?
So you know, Tyler Hoechlin had that shirt.
Yes.
And evidently Ian was like, I want one too. Except he did none of the right steps in doing the shirt. Oh, basically stole this girl's art. And she was like, oh, it's not really going to look good at the size that they want. So, you know, if he would have asked me, I could have made something that, you know, he could actually use. But they did it, and then they modified it, and then he put it on a shirt, and it was ugly. And now they're selling it for some random charity, for charitable causes.
I need to see the picture. I don't even know what it looks like.
That's not a picture of it, but I'm trying to find, so messy. I'm trying to, when I saw it, I was like, no Ian. And I said, where was the contest for this? And why was that the one that you chose? And then it was like, there was no contest.
As much as I love Ian Bohen, don't be messy.
He's
don't be
so
messy about this.
And he had gone a while without being messy. I think because he was so busy with his film, The Toe, that he just, you know, had time to not be messy for a while. And now he's come back in full.
So wait, it originally had Derek's face on it?
No, it was Peter. It was always Peter's face. But this wasn't there. It was just this. And then, I hate shirts like that anyway.
Well, because they're not cropped right.
Exactly. And then you have him wearing a gray shirt on top of a gray shirt. And it's just like, what? But, they could have, it's just, but then again.
I do like the fact that the first comment was daddy.
Oh, yes. I love it. I love all of those. But
I'm
like, you could buy this at any Teen Wolf convention.
Yeah.
You know, this is nothing. And who are you representing? What charity is this for? And they're like, it's for all charities everywhere. And I'm like, can I be a charity?
Oh, Ian, as much as I love you, this was so sloppy.
Yeah, that was sloppy.
That was really sloppy.
Sorry, bae. It's all good.
You're so hot, though.
Mm-hmm.
I will still put you on my wall.
The AP article and that link about Scott reminded me of the worst follow-through with him. In 3A, Scott and Styles are on the hospital roof, and Styles is tearfully telling Scott that he can't go with the Alphas, and Scott is saying that he has to. So Scott goes with the Alpha, and literally nothing happens. There are no consequences of Scott going with the Alphas, and the whole thing is dropped the next episode. They do this with Scott in every season, and it's so frustrating and stupid, and I hate the show.
And actually, you know what? That's the thing, is that there's no consequences, honestly, for any of them.
No, here's the problem with that whole thing. Because I remember watching and waiting. I was like, oh, I forgot about this part. And I said, I forgot how it resolved. And I was like, why would I forget how it resolved? And then it was like, oh, because it never did. Mm-hmm. But the reason it never did is because it wasn't important to begin with. At that point, we had thought that the Alphas were the main antagonists, but really they were supposed to be protecting them from Jennifer. Mm-hmm. And so Scott going with the Alphas only only hurt in that it was something he did specifically against the PHAD.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's nothing to eat, but I always land on my feet. So when there's pie time, I just run my pie and then I put on my best and I stick out my chest and I'm off to the races again. Those little newsies for you.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it. That lemon pie. I make a lemonade cake. I'll have to make it for you sometime. It's really good. All right. So let's get back into it. Anonymous says, wait, did Teen Wolf really send Kira off for a while, or is she still around until the end of the season? What the F, Teen Wolf? She was one of the few things I still keep in my completely divergent canon. Yeah, they sent her away. Now, some people think it's final. She's been talking about 5B, but she hasn't really given anything conclusive, and I don't know if she doesn't know. In fact, someone texted her. Someone tweeted her, and she gave a very interesting answer. I'm going to see if I can find it.
I don't follow her on Twitter. On Twitter.
Oh, why not?
I don't really follow
She's
other
pretty
people.
harmless.
Yeah.
I follow all the show. Oh, Mari Soul, Desert Wolf. I can't tell if she's just not experienced with Twitter or she just knows everything. Like, she's a little bit shady, but in a really fun way. I'm like, all right, Mari Soul, I'm watching you, girl. I'm watching you. Let's see if I can find this picture. It was in that, vein of depressing Arden Cho tweets that she loves so dearly. Dang it.
Leave Arden alone.
Oh, that girl. She be knowing. Oh, you didn't see this. I don't know if he was actually in a thing of Playgirl, because he's not naked enough to really be in it. But all these linen multicolored suits.
But I wouldn't be shocked if he
was. His real name is like Garnet Barrett Lyndon Ashby III, and I'm like, you are so bougie.
I was gonna say that's even bougier than Lyndon.
Exactly.
Garnet.
The fact that you had 3 other names that you were like, nah, I'm good. I'll be Lyndon. Oh shoot! I wish I could find it, but they were like, if Jeff Davis doesn't have you, or something about like if he sends you the script and you're not in it, then you need to go to him and blah blah blah. And she was like, well, I guess we'll see. And I was like, I was like, what, Arden? So in fact, dang it, I don't.
That's the thing. You don't really know with Jeff anyway.
Girl.
None of the people know.
Well, you saw Megan Tandy had to go get all of her
supporters.
Yes, to try to get back on set, and she did it. She made it happen. I don't know what she told people. She said my cousin got the AIDS, and this is her Make-A-Wish that she see Auntie Meg back on. That's cute.
But now I'm
Kira.
But I'm actually the same way. The way they said peace out, Kira, I was just like, wait a second, what? I'm like, she's the only, and I said this on the podcast too last night, she's the only one who can actually defeat a Chimera. And she's the only one who seems to know what the fuck is going on. And she's the only one who actually had a true vision after she read the book.
Yeah.
So she's a key component to everything. So why would you send her away?
To freaking everything. She said, it said, at Arden Cho, if Jeff doesn't send you 5B scripts, just turn up anyway, please. Thanks. And then she was like, I'm down with that plan. LOL. Hope I don't get in trouble. And I'm like, what does that mean? Okay, Arden. And you know, Arden has that special brand of shadiness anyway. So it could be anything.
That's the thing. She has the shadiness, but the thing is that, I mean, we also have been talking about the fact that she doesn't go to any of the conventions.
Nope.
She doesn't. Or
any of the official conventions. She'll go to a fan convention. I'm still mad the way that they did her at Colton Con,
mm-hmm.
but I wish that they would try to get her for Howler Con.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're kind of being a little trifling. I'm just like, we'll talk about that later.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, what's next? Oh, okay.
Me wishing I had more of this pie.
Girl.
The lemon pie was really good.
Mm-hmm. Imagine the Desert Wolf needs to kill Malia for a good reason, like the girl's some ancient bad demon in her bones who will get out of her at some point in her life, and the Desert Wolf wanted to protect it by killing her as a kid. But this would make too much sense. I'm sure they will label her as the crazy bad guy and will be killed.
Mm-hmm.
Then they will make Styles and Malia being all close and talk about their mothers trying to kill them. Hashtag hate this show so much. Malia can die. Hashtag sad.
Can I just say, I love the fact that so many people are just making sure they put in, I hate this show.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's true. That would make the most sense, is that she's killing her. She's after her for a particular reason.
I told you, Malia was the one who set the hellfire. I don't know how, but she set the hellfire, and Mama had to go back into the middle distant time and say, okay, if I kill her, then, the hellfire won't happen. And she missed it the first time. She was like, dang, the hellfire still happened? That heifer must still be alive. Let me go and check and see what's going on.
Like continuum, so she can be back in time?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because now Malia was born. She almost got killed right before the hellfire.
Yeah.
So I think if she did live, and I think because she lived, the hellfire happened. But if she would have stayed dead, the hellfire wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, that works for me.
I'll take it.
The thing is that, like I said, I would love the fact that if Malia's like some evil ancient spirit, which would prove again that Malia's evil. But it does. It just sounds way too right for this show.
Way too right for this show.
Like, it would sound like something that, like, me as a person who loves fantasy, and if I could write a TV show, I would totally throw that in there.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a great plot twist. But I don't expect that from Teen Wolf writers.
Girl, no one does.
Okay, another question.
Do you think Scott will actually face consequences for things?
No.
I feel like this show has rarely, if ever, admitted when Scott effed up. Because even in Motel California, the only guilt we got was for the things he never had a hand in, and that hadn't happened. I still think he gets a crap ton of passes that his stands drag other characters for all the time, in the show too. If they finally go there with him, cool, but I still think they'll make him a hypocrite sometime. I still think that they do make him a hypocrite sometimes, and they do. We talked about this a little bit last night with Jenny when we were recording the podcast, about how it is Scott's fault. All of this is Scott's fault, but not for the reasons that he is thinking
it is
that they are. And he's not acknowledging what the real reasons are. And so he's going to keep making those mistakes and keep getting into those situations because he's not acknowledging what he's doing wrong every single time.
I agree.
You wanted to say something else about the Alpha Pack when he chose to go with them at 3A. Do you remember what it was?
Not really, no, but I agree. I was like, I really did expect more out of that, because the thing is that would have had major consequences for him. The fact that
just
he was
even
willing,
within the dynamics of the
pack. I understand that he was being sacrificial, blah, 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 but there should have been a consequence for him going to the Alpha Pack. There should have been something that happened to him when he joined the Alpha Pack. Like, the fact that he went there and it was kind of like, oh, let's go surround Miss Morel, and then Miss Morel kind of somewhat got killed, but she really didn't get killed. That was the only thing we saw.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see anything else.
And she didn't even get
killed.
Didn't even
see, and the thing is, we didn't even see really his interactions with anyone in the pack. It's not like he went undercover and was like, hey, let me get some extra information. He didn't even get that. Like, it
kind of upset me because if Morel had gotten killed, he was 100% complicit in that. He had no way of knowing that she hadn't gotten killed.
Yeah.
But there was no mention of it. He felt nothing because of her almost dying. He felt nothing when he used Derek. Mm-hmm. That could have been dangerous to Derek.
The thing is, he went and grabbed her, and she was like, what? She told him something, blah, 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 and...
We all thought she was dead.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, that was the most, was that maybe he had some sympathy for Miss Morel because she didn't need to die. But... there really wasn't any other show of anything after that, because that's the thing. He should have thought she was dead the entire time. So that should have been weighing on his conscience, is that when he was with the Outback, he killed an innocent person.
Right.
But that didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
And yeah, but again, that person didn't die by his hands, so moral stands. That's the thing. Honestly, none of these kids really get the consequences of what they should, like. Every good show would show the consequences of every action that these people do, sooner or later. And none of these kids have ever had their actions shown.
Because Lydia should be running for the hills away from Parrish. There is nothing about Parrish that should be... Because you have a man in authority who has this crazy supernatural power that he has no idea what to do with. You still don't have a handle on what you are. Why are you trying to show him what he is? Like, why would Scott even put you in that position?
After half the stuff that she went through, including knowing that her best friend was going to get killed, all this stuff, she should have been in a mental institute. And I understand they're going to put her in one now, but this girl should have been, like,
some sort of counseling.
She should have been...
I'm like, Morel, can I book you?
Yeah.
Like...
We all know Styles should have had consequences for everything he did. Styles actually should have had consequences in, season 2?
Well, that's what I'm...
Earlier seasons where he didn't get consequences, and I'm like, you did some sneaky ass
Styles should be a serial killer right now. So, this thing with Donovan is so... And I love that they did finally say his guilt over killing Donovan had nothing to do with killing Donovan. He really doesn't even care that it killed him. But he's like, Scott's not going to like me.
Which right there says something about Styles not being right. The fact that he does not care that he killed someone.
And I'm here for it. You know, I'm like, because really... He shouldn't. He should be at the place where he's like, any means necessary. And I think that Theo is getting him there, but it depends on what. I know they're going to find a way to mess it up.
A TV show would have done the same thing. Would have been like, so this kid is a little bit on the psycho side. Yeah.
So someone said Styles is being unfair. Are you done? I'm put over here.
Yay.
What do you? Can you help a little?
I just cut it out.
So,
look, we are in my house, okay? Learn the consequences in my house.
Someone says Styles is being unfair with the human line, and I don't understand how. Scott has always been judgy towards others and what they do, even if he does some gross things too. And the show always tells us, no guys, everything Scott's done is totally okay, A++, nothing wrong at all. So I don't think it's unfair or wrong at all, to be honest. I'm more like, I think finally, I don't remember the human line. I know in the extended trailer, he says something like, some of us are human. But I don't remember him saying that last night, so I don't know.
I'm one of those people that as soon as he said that, I would have still laughed. I'm like, are you? I know they keep saying that you are, and I know they try to prove that you are.
That thing, the way they play with Styles and the way they use us to play with Styles is just really ridiculous.
I still don't.
Or at least not all the way.
He's not all the way. I don't believe it.
But I think that is completely right.
I think the only human in the group is Mason.
Yeah.
And maybe Dean. And even then, I'm still kind of like...
Girl, yeah.
Dean, you ain't even human either.
Damn this. I'm in the milk ain't clean.
Well, he bathes and there's no blood.
There we go. Klexicon Hexus says, so was this Arden's last episode, or are they going to have Kira be absent for a couple of episodes? We talked about that. As a supposed love interest of the main character, they, the writers, sure as heck don't know what to do with her character. I also think it's very strange that Arden has been on the show since 3B and has been a main since season 4, but she has never attended Comic-Con with the rest of the cast. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but it appears that no Fs were given. Yeah.
I agree. And that's the thing is that, like, but if you think about it, even the way they kind of mistreated Allison was kind of similar. That's why I said I kind of worry about her coming back, because they did similar things to Crystal Reed when it came to her exit.
Especially
her storyline
the montage, the 2-video montage, or the 2-scene montage.
But I also have this thing too, where it's like, this is a character who has an interesting background, and you guys have yet to build up on her. And she's one of the few that you really could build up on. and make her, because like she does, she has either fans that like her or fans that hate her, and you could actually, if you
but they're interested either way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because actually, I've talked to people who are like, she's not my favorite, but if they actually can, swing her in the story the right way, like I actually knew people who.
And you're not going to get that with Malia. Right now, her mom is going to trump her as a character. People are going to be more interested in her mom than they ever are Malia.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is that with me, when it comes to the Comic-Con thing, Comic-Con's always shady anyway when it comes to who's invited to cast stuff, but Teen Wolf has been very shady to everybody when it comes to who they invite.
To Keahu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the type that would have shown up to Comic-Con as a guest, as a fan.
Oh, he did.
And he did, and that's the thing. So, like...
Oh, did you see that video?
Yeah.
Man. And Dylan was like, he was trying to hold it in like, what's going on, you guys? Like, why isn't he up here?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't get invited? He's like, what are you wearing? I was like, oh,
But he did the same thing that Orson Chow did. But
Isaac Chow, yeah.
But Isaac Chow always gets invited to shit.
Mm-hmm.
But he just was like, I'm going to show up anyway. I got my tickets like 3 months ahead. So the guy who plays Danny is the same way. He's the type that would have gone around.
Yeah, host a staple. Yeah, he knows what's up.
He knew what was going on. But no, I did think it was a slam, especially since she is a main love interest, that she is never invited to anything. And
that she's treated like a background character, and she's a main.
And when you've had someone like Malia who just came into the show, who gets invited, and then she that ugly ass dress. But the fact that she actually allowed to actually be in the main cast and be on the, you have people like Dylan Spraber who just came on. And
Cody Christian.
Yeah. Like, how the hell are they on freaking the table?
And I love Coda Christian, but I'm like, that makes no sense that you were there and Kira wasn't there.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
To me. It made no absolute fucking sense. Like, I'm one of those people, you either, the whole cast goes, or no one in the cast
goes.
Or
just, like, Posey.
Or just, like, Posey and maybe, like, Dylan.
Maybe Dylan,
Like, if it's not the whole cast, it's, like, 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
And exclude everyone.
Exclude everyone or include at least all the mains.
Yeah. If they are in that opening credit, they need to be there.
They need to be there. Lord.
Now that's the thing. If they're in the opening credits, I'm still pissed off that she actually has her opening credit after fucking
Shelley.
And the thing is she after Sprayberry too? Or
no. Spray's is last.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, they would have had a fit. That rightfully so.
And that would have been pissy too.
Mm-hmm. So,
it's okay, Arden, I like you.
Yes, we love you, Arden. More talk about Ian. Coming back with the drink. But didn't bring me none, but I see how you walk.
This thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to figure out what we need to do the video thing, but it seems like people like it.
People love it. It's crazy. And we love you.
Momo, you should pull your shirt down a little more. Show off the deck.
It's not that type of podcast. However, if you're willing to make payments to PayPal.com, it can be that type of podcast, right?
Oh my God! Really, you two? Really?
Girl, we gotta use them assets, make us some money.
I need to find ways to make money, but not like that.
Well, don't knock it.
Don't knock until I try it.
Right. It ain't tricking if you got it. It is tricky. Malia's mama is gonna kill.
I swear. This has gotten worse since you've been in the house, Greg. She's acting worse because of you.
Malia's mama is gonna try to kill her, then True Alpha Scott, will save Malia, but not by killing her mother, but by letting her go peaceful, knowing Malia's mama is a murderer. Meanwhile, Scott will be scolding Styles for killing Donovan. These are good predictions.
Yeah. Or someone's going to end up killing her mom when her mom shouldn't actually be dead because her mom's amazing.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that they don't. Watch that be like Theo kills her to try and get on everyone's good side. But then everyone's like, but Scott says we shouldn't kill him. He's like, are you freaking kidding me?
No. But you know what's going to happen?
I hate you guys.
But you know what's going to happen? Malia's panties are going to drop.
They are going to drop all the way to the floor. Oh my God. All the way to the ground. It's going to be like a magnet. Like the earth is a magnet and her panties are lead.
Oh my God.
gonna rip her IUD out.
I'm so embarrassed. Where's Meg to calm you down?
Ryan with Cupcake says,
"Hi, Ryan.
Where does Sheriff keep getting new deputies? When he calls deputies are us, does the representative recognize him and offer to order his usual? Does Costco offer bulk discounts? Does he order ahead, leading to awkwardness when the current batch survives longer than expected?" I can imagine a delivery man being like, "Hey, Sheriff, we got your new deputies." He's like, and Deputy Clark is like, "What? You got who now?" And he was like, "Well, I mean, there's a lot of turnover."
He's gone through like 6.
There's a lot of turnover.
And they all, quote unquote, quit. But let's talk about the real...
No, old girl got our favorite...
No, that's the joke. He's telling her they all resigned or quit, but we all know they all got gangs.
It was irreconcilable differences.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I chose to be alive, and then the villain chose for me to be dead.
Yeah.
And they won.
But Ryan, let's talk about the real thing. You live near koalas. I love koalas. When are you sending them to me?
Evidently, I'm supposed to mention.
You're supposed to take lots of photos, and then one night you're supposed to sneak in and give me the cutest little baby one that you can, and then you ship it to me so I can have it in the box, and I'll be like, "Oh my god."
You are going to be like one of those people that's like, "Oh, mountain lion, savage jungle beast, of course I'll keep them as a pet. It's going to be so nice." And they're like...
Koalas are the sweetest things ever.
They're going to claw your face off.
They're not. That koala's going to love me. Koalas actually, they did a study, they actually found koalas can be addicted to hugs.
From dead people
No,
whose face they clawed off.
I was watching a show on koalas.
It's gonna be you and you're gonna be like Kristen Bell in The Sloth, but it's gonna be you with koalas. You're gonna be like,
and if I see one in person, I'm gonna cry.
Did you watch Noozles?
And then I wanna hold it. Huh?
Did you watch Noozles? It was a cartoon, and it had one of the Noozles was named Sandy. They were little koalas, and you went.
Yeah. I love koalas and penguins, and I do like panda bears too.
You're in a good city for liking penguins.
Yeah.
Anonymous said, "Oh, I don't watch."
I'm in a good city for loving pandas. Because I live around the corner from them pretty much my whole life.
That's what I'm saying.
But I love penguins too.
Oh, you said penguins, and I met pandas. But
there used to be penguins up at I think they don't have the exact penguins. They have like a form of penguins up in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
But I want a koala. Please bring me a koala.
I don't watch the show. How was Posey's acting? And what scene was Lyndon referring to? Is Theo still going strong? I kind of was wondering what scene Lyndon was referring to also. Because Lyndon loves him some hyperbole. He was like, that was the best acting that I've ever seen anywhere on TV. And I'm like, except for last week when you said that Dylan was the best acting that you've ever seen anywhere ever.
With who? What character is this?
I think he meant Scott's acting just overall.
Scott's acting... Well, Tyler Posey's acting hasn't been really good since like season 1, too.
It's not that it hasn't been good, but again, we're running into the thing where he has a really good hold on Scott.
Yeah.
But the show is trying to do
Scott.
something else with Scott. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he's trying to get there with the show, but he doesn't know where to go.
He should just do what he wants to do with Sky.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what's going to happen next with Scott. I will say
his best moment was still when he answered what? Like, because he still did that. That's still the best.
I don't know. He had a good... He's been getting better at some of the smaller stuff, but where he excels is when he finally pulls it together. Mm-hmm. So now we're having these scenes where he's falling apart, and it's not that good. Exactly.
Because his background moments are stupid, because he just stands there.
When he doesn't think the camera is on him, he doesn't engage.
You should always think the camera's on you.
Exactly.
There are people on this show that think the camera's on them 24/7, and you know it, Colton.
Girl.
Colton thought the camera was on him. He was just sitting on the side, and he'd be like, let me focus this one in the camera's eye.
Because Colton draws the camera. That's what it is. He's like, I can't even worry about cameras not being on me. When I'm there and a camera's there, the camera's on me. You know, and they're like, oh, you weren't supposed to get that shot. And he was like, it's Colton. Of course I was supposed to get that shot. He's like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry.
But they kept that shot in.
But they kept that shot in.
And there was definitely shots that they definitely kept that he had him in it. I'm like, shouldn't the focus be on the person on the side? And the focus is totally on him. Remember that when they were at the lunch table?
Yes!
At the lunch table scene, I'm just like, but aren't they supposed
to... And you had Danny on the side like... Can you... No? No?
Totally
okay.
Because
yes,
the whole
Styles.
scene was supposed to be between Crystal and Tyler. And yet the focus was on Holland
and Colton. Love it.
And I was just like, this is not how you're supposed to set up a shot. Like, any normal person would know this.
Someone said Theo Rakin, still a better alpha and a better character than Scott McCall.
Yeah. Theo's better than a lot of characters on the show.
He really is.
I would actually, know what? If I can't get my Orphan spinoff, I want a spinoff on Theo.
On Theo. Oh, I would love that. Just like a mini-series. I just want like an isolated 6-episode arc of all about Theo Rakin. I would watch
about
that.
His life, how he killed his sister.
Yeah, she was...
How the hell are you going to be in, like, literally a foot of water and you're acting like you're drowning?
Theo.
I'm like, Charlie, you could just stand up. Like, she literally could stand up.
Or roll out. Just be like, wait, hold up. Thea. I'm like, where's your phone? I don't know. And Thea was just on the bridge chilling. So I'm like, you see him on the bridge chilling. You know he's not, like, it's not like he can't hear you.
Yeah.
So that's when you just cuss him out. Like, you son of a, oh, I hate you. And, yeah, Daddy loves me best. And they're going to miss me. And they're going to think about it every single day.
But then Theo would go down and be like, well, I already killed our parents. So.
And then he would curb stomp her.
He probably would. I'm not surprised that since something has already happened to his parents and then he effed up his fake parents.
So stupid.
How is it in the first episode you F up your
foster
new
care?
Yeah.
I got put into foster care. You know? And then he would have the benefit of 2 other dead parents to get even more sympathy. So what's all, like, why are you hiring someone talking about you were supposed to practice? And the fact that the dude lets you know, dude is crazy, mama is crazy. So Theo just got with a crazy bunch.
I need his parents to come back.
I do too. I hope they do.
Just so we can see what craziness. They can put them with
oh my God, can you imagine just Sunday dinners? Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And Mr. Tate's like, yeah, I got a daughter too. She stays with me in my house all the time. She doesn't have a boyfriend she's openly having sex with. I have a gun.
And then Theo's be like, well, she's not tapping him too.
I know. Oh my God.
Theo would be so shady.
I need a dinner with the Rakins and the Tates. I need that in my life.
Which means that she's going to get someone to send her a fan fiction because someone's going to make that true.
Let's do it.
Someone's going to make that dream come true now.
I cannot wait.
And then we're going to have Meg read it since she volunteered.
Yay. Since I'm not watching the season, with Derek Hale gone, is something missing from the show other than viewers? Or was his character really as unimportant as his critics always claimed? If you want to go the route that something is not missing from the show, it's only because it's asking us so many questions that we have to hang on to that you don't have time to consider the atmosphere. You don't have time to consider what else is going on.
The thing is that they're kind of retconning all the hell stuff in a weird way. So, like, if you didn't watch the earlier seasons and know that the hells were gone, then you wouldn't
have that connection. Exactly.
Because the thing is that, like, as someone who's watched the other seasons, you definitely know it's weird with Peter and Derek and any other hell relation or Argent relation being gone. This season, if you came in, this is your first season, or you only watched a few seasons, you would never know that any of these past characters
mentioned Allison once in the opening thing. And we haven't heard about that girl since.
And you probably would have been like, well, who's Allison?
Right.
And they were like all crying and stuff like that. And then they haven't talked about it. They haven't talked about the Argents. They haven't talked about anyone.
They haven't talked about the Hales.
I was like, Dad, when Isaac was at your school, so was Boyd and Erica. Why didn't you write their names down?
Exactly.
Like, they actually, like, only wrote Allison's name, and I'm like, you had 3 other people who were supposed to graduate with you. Mm-hmm. And 2 of them are dead.
And Jackson.
Oh, and Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they had 4 other people. Technically, Danny, too.
Yes, exactly.
And let's see, 3 of these people have moved away or disappeared. and then the other 3 are dead. So, but you only wrote one of their names down.
And ain't talked about her since.
Yeah. Because I would have been like, one person should have wrote Boyd's name, one person should have wrote, you know, and that's why I said...
Well, Scott should have written them down.
Yeah.
He's the alpha. He should have written them down. But
then he was also like, well, they were my pack, so...
Oh, Lord. And exactly.
Even
and
though they
it's
were
so
technically
freaking
his
petty.
friends.
And even though they helped him with everything, and they helped him with all his stupid plans, no, they're trash.
Isaac lived with him.
And they did a little more than just live.
In your head.
No, in real life. So I ventured into the anti-Styles tag for some unknown reason, and Lord have mercy. People are pissed that Stilinski is wanting to arrest Kira when he didn't arrest Styles after he killed people while he was possessed. Like,
well, I pointed that out,
oh
too.
my god, yeah. Styles is his son, so that's a thing.
That's still called favoritism.
To make someone, like, I don't know, not want to arrest someone. Papa Stilinski does not know Kira is possessed. That's why I want to read this. So, a relevant point, and Styles was literally possessed. He should not be arrested. Kira is possessed, out of control. She shouldn't be arrested either. But literally, this all falls down to true BB Alpha Scott, who refused to tell anyone but Theo that Kira is all out of whack. Like, no one knows Kira is effed up. So, as far as the sheriff can see, she's legit. Just went and killed someone for kicks. Girl, these antis get me going all sorts of crazy.
See, I agree and I disagree.
Yeah, and like I said, Styles should have been arrested. I mean, if you're going to keep up this thing, either arrest some of them or arrest none of them.
Yeah.
Put in a freaking plan for how to deal with these situations.
And if Styles wasn't arrested, then he should have ended up in Aiken House.
So yeah, none of that was Styles'
fault.
fault.
Like, we understand that he was possessed, but he still killed like 20 people.
Like, he has got no counseling, and I don't understand why his dad thinks that he's just okay now.
Yeah.
Like, he literally jumped into bed with a were-coyote that you pulled smooth naked out of the forest, and he's dating her now. And you're like, it's cool. That's totally fine. Oh, you two were in the Aiken house together? I'm sure she was there for a reasonable reason. And I'm like, no. I need you to know. I need you to take less hours.
I still believe she was planted there.
So do I.
Because it makes no sense that she would be found after all these years in the woods. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you see her is that she's in the insane asylum. No, that doesn't make any sense.
But again, that is Teen Wolf and their terrible storytelling. And so they're like, yeah, this totally makes sense. And you're like, no, it completely does not. But I do agree,
Scott needs to talk and tell people that Kira's wolf is out of control.
Yeah.
Because...
But now he's to the point where if he does tell them, he's going to look even more stupid. So now he definitely doesn't want to tell them.
Well, no. All he has to do is say that, you know, I looked at her with my other eyes the very last time before she left.
I looked at her with my other eyes. Oh, okay. But he ain't going to be smart enough to do that.
Well, yeah, because Scott's dumb. But I'm just saying, it would have been smart.
Yeah.
To do it the other way. And would have been like, you know, she asked me to look at her right before she left, and there's something wrong with her. I think she might be possessed. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, because now you do. You have a whole group of people that think she's a killer. A group of people in your pack that think she's a killer.
Exactly.
And she really isn't.
I wonder, so this leads us to another question. Theo knows that she's arrested. Styles knows she's arrested. We can assume that Lydia knows.
I think the whole group knows.
You think so?
Yeah. Rumor mills and schools. You know everyone knows. Everyone in that school is going to know that she was arrested.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if they ever went to school.
But I'm just saying, everyone would know. No, Plus, you got the girl whose sister is a cop, and, you know, we don't know her group.
And she's a terrible cop. She was just telling all the business in front of a civilian that had nothing to do with the case. And he was like, oh, wait, that's not your wife? Yeah, I was just like, no, honey. We talked about this. Am I the only one annoyed that... Oh, yeah, that the sheriff didn't seem to care that his son had just been in a fairly major accident, even if he seemed relatively unharmed. I mean, did he even know?
Has the sheriff ever actually consoled Styles? Styles has had a gun pulled in his head every season except for this season so far. He has had blood splatter all over him. He's had someone shoot out someone's brains in front of him.
Yeah.
He's been in this random accident several times.
He's had blood splattered all over his face twice. Yeah.
He's had people killed in front of him. He's had explosions happen around him.
And sheriff is like, walk it off, son, walk it off.
Exactly. So, I mean... Their father-son relationship's kind of screwed up.
What I'm wondering about...
He needs to give him a hug.
Girl.
When he had insomnia, he was acting all crazy.
Oh, man. That's what I said. I want this to be like... I want the final scene of this entire season to be like... And then all of a sudden, Styles opens his eyes, and he's sitting on the bed at the Icon house looking out the window. And Oliver is like, did you sleep? And he's like, I can't sleep without my pillow. Don't. And then he has to live through all of that again, knowing that he knows what's going to happen and seeing if he's going to try to change things.
That would be a really good twist. Again, wouldn't that happen on Teen Wolf?
It would not happen on Teen Wolf. I would love it. But it would
be a really good plot twist. I think that would be an amazing plot twist. And everyone would be like, wait, what?
Exactly.
And that way you can bring all the cast
I thought
back.
it was Lydia's flashback. No, buddy. That was Styles' flashback. And he cries.
Also, it gives us a chance to see Oliver.
Yes, I know. He's so messy online. I know. Oliver just...
What happened to that kid?
Ryan Laserbeam just kicked rocks, I guess. He's probably still at the Icon house, and he was like, I don't know, y'all. Can I get some extra tater tots?
I mean, you have a name like Ryan Laserbeam. That's awesome.
Exactly. Oliver Laserbeam.
But that would tell me in my head that the orphans are alive. And I mean, like, Oliver Squirrel lives. OS.
I just read the interview with Ryan. Why is it every time one of the cast does an interview with Andy Swift, it ends up being so gross? I feel like Andy does it on purpose.
He's so misogynistic in that.
He's like, I was like, what Aryan youth, pray the gay away, daddy long legs nonsense camp did you go to? Who wrote this for you? It was probably Jeff. Jeff probably wrote that for him and was like, say this. He said, she's a beautiful girl and I'm a male. It wasn't like, what does that even mean? Like, are you an alien? And maybe you just forgot how to identify people by their species?
I'm sorry, that entire quote that he gave, and like, for people who haven't...
We talked about it on the podcast,
we talked about the podcast, but if you haven't actually read the real quote, it is the most rapey thing I've ever heard.
It's tagged under Ryan Kelly on our page, so look at BHADPodcast@tumblr.com/tag/Ryan Kelly, and you could put in the space, it'll do all the work for you.
It's just messy.
Messy.
And I'm just like, Ryan Kelly, you are slipping from my... I used to love you when you first came on. You are slowly slipping. The more you talk.
Girl.
The more he talks, I'm just like, can you just shut up and look pretty?
What they were thinking. Such a mess. Okay, I think...
Here's the real question. Why did anyone ask him if he lives in the parking lot? That boy doesn't have a home.
He doesn't have a home. Home is where the heart is, and his heart's on the asphalt of that parking lot. So...
He really needs to stop taking photos in his parking lot, so we need to stop saying that. That's all he ever does. I'm like, it's the same parking lot over and over again.
I'm like, is this near your actual house? Because this is an ongoing series. Like, this is his photojournalism. We're getting art right now. We don't even know it. So, okay, I think Posey was good in the episode. And in my opinion, it's the first time I've seen him act emotional without being horribly awkward. But I failed to see what was so earth-shatteringly amazing as to merit that tweet from Lyndon. Lyndon loves hyperbole, and Lyndon loves checks. And so if he can get a check from being hyperbolic, he will do it.
Yeah. And I don't blame him, because if they're going to send me a check to say best things about stuff, I would too.
I'd be like, it's the best thing. It was the best day. It was the best day. Have you seen that? It was the best day.
I have.
It was the best day. I don't know if there's any more words to it. There really doesn't need to be.
There is more words, but yeah, because actually it's a song.
From who?
I don't remember who sings it, but it's actually a song.
It was the best day.
What I was going to say is that
Go ahead, Flo.
If they want to give me a check to say something good about Teen Wolf, I will.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out
We will sell out, just to let y'all know. If MTV is like, Stacey, look, y'all are saying way too much bad stuff about Teen Wolf. Can you please stop? We'll be like, no, we are telling the truth. We have integrity. Why don't your show get better? Why don't your writers get better? And they'll be like, how many zeros? And I'll be like, 5. And when we get those 5 zeros, we'll be all Teen Wolf all the time. I will get a Shelly Hennick shirt. And I'll be like, she's the best thing that ever happened to Teen Wolf.
She looks like Prince today. She didn't look like she was 40.
Mm-hmm.
She looks so cute.
See, no, I wouldn't even give them shady, love. It would be 100%. She's so smart, you guys.
I can't.
And I really love the way she dances. It's so awesome.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. We were talking about trying to get on Wolfwatch. Please try to get us on Wolfwatch. That's not going to happen. Because they're not.
I feel like that's an awful idea, but I also feel like.
What you should do is you should.
Try to get us on Wolfwatch.
Try to get us on Wolfwatch, but don't mention the video comments.
I know! They'll be like, oh, in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a BHAD podcast Tumblr. But it's going to be like BHAD podcast public. And so that is the one that you can show their PR. And it'll be like, oh my God, Posey did such a good job. You know, I have some trouble with the storyline, but I trust them to work it out. And we'll do some videos like that. And then they'll be like, oh, it's your best fans. And we'll be like, hey. What? I'm excited.
And then the first thing I'll be like, so how did it feel to get under 1 million viewers?
And I'll be like.
That's the reason Stacey doesn't want to go on with me, because I'm going to either talk about hanging someone on a wall
or perish in his parking lot. Love it. Love it.
I would definitely ask something really wrong. And then
as long as you can hold the face, I'm with you, girl. I'm with you.
I can always hold my face, though.
All right. I can't. I'd be like. So, thinking about Stio separately in terms of the show and fandom are where the real motives for it was created and why it's being pushed. MTV won't give bi-styles, and they don't care much about Steric anymore in terms of canon. But as far as fandom goes, Styles, bi-styles, and Steric are king, and Stio is stirring that pot. This show really doesn't get / like its fandom. And has been openly antagonistic, particularly to / fandom. Stio minimizes Scott, again, which riles up his stands. Malia, whom the most active creative part of fandom just isn't here for, though they'll beat that Celia horse to death in canon, and or cut losses, and make Malio happen in prep for Dylan's leaving. And of course, they create a / pairing just because they can. Because they tried everything to have part of the fandom, Lord, but nothing worked until they figured out that all they needed was a cute guy, Dylan O'Brien, mediocre chemistry, and / shippers thirsty for any male canon material.
Well, that's what I said last night. I said, you pretty much gonna have 2 guys and someone's gonna ship them. It doesn't even matter, like... it's so hard to ship a lot of other ships because people are going to ship 2 guys.
Which is fine for me. I actually don't mind that. Where I have an issue is if you are openly not going to make any of your main cast queer, bi, gay, pan, etc.
They lost
but he wasn't main cast. I mean, your main cast. If you're not going to have them be queer, then you can't.
But he's not main cast either.
Yeah, you can't push a / pairing.
Jackson wasn't either, but it's okay.
But so it's like, so they're trying to have the best of both worlds. But I'm like, you can bait Stio all you want to. But you're never going to take anywhere, so no one is ever going to be loyal to you. No one's ever going to be like, yeah, I'm with you on this. You know, let's go. So, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
I just want Theo by himself, so they can kill everyone else off.
I want him with someone just to see how he uses them. I do want him
He has better chemistry than a lot of other people, though.
He really does. And a lot of that is a credit to Cody Christian. Because anyone else in that role, like if they had put Donovan in that role, it would be a completely different role. We'd probably hate him. And Donovan's not bad looking or anything, but he just doesn't have that spark with the rest of the cast that Theo does, that Cody Christian does. Answered on the video. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, you guys. Morgan said something else shady, too, recently. Oh, I can't remember what it was. I'll have to think about it. But Morgan began getting it in. I'm like, how are you doing this, sir? There's this one troll that comes to Black Girls Love Dylan O'Brien, and they're like, I don't see any pictures of black girls on here. And I'm like, there are tons of pictures of black girls on there, so I'm not even going to acknowledge your tomfoolery. Scott, this episode was basically like, F you, my child is missing. His separation anxiety was real in these episodes.
Yeah.
But to the point where it made him useless. Which I need him to figure that out. What are you doing?
One of my teachers found me on Facebook. So I was like, okay. That's fine with me. I was like, that's cool. I'll add her later.
Mm-hmm. We can get some more sisters too. All right. Okay, that's what's messing me up. So I am glad. Okay. Was Styles seriously the only one of Kira's so-called friends who expressed any concern for or defense of her? Even if he was particularly projecting, he has to sympathize with not being in control of your body. And could Teen Wolf have been more classless with that hashtag? That hashtag was freaking awful.
The hashtags for a lot of the stuff that night was awful, but yeah. That was probably one of the rudest tags I've ever seen.
Well, and the fact that, so Kira's been going through this stuff for a while, and people have been noticing, how come more people aren't talking about Kira? You're going to talk to Theo about Kira, but Theo has no...
He doesn't even know Kira.
Mind of who she is.
This is the first time he's ever met her. What is he, like, why are you going to Theo of all people?
That's like when Malia was like, I saw her, it's a desert wolf, and Theo's like, who is that? Like, okay.
He was just like, I just met you like 3 hours ago.
You know, exactly.
Desert wolf?
Desert wolf?
Should I know this name?
Like, is that a wolf in the desert? Like, no, she's a coyote. Why? No, don't worry about that. You're missing the point. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, like,
okay,
that's the thing.
He said, okay, boo.
Like, I always thought, like I said, compared out of the 3 girls, Lydia was always the closer one to her, so why didn't she show any concern?
Yeah.
Styles, the person who supposedly hated...
on her at first, yeah, which is a typical Styles thing.
Showed the most emotion.
Yeah.
To her having some type of issue. It's too bad they didn't show Mason's face. Mason would have been like, why? I like her.
Well, yeah, even if Mason had been there,
Mason
I
actually
feel like
was the only one who
talked.
really talked to her. He actually, if you actually know from this season, at least, 8 episodes we've seen, he's had the most concern for her.
Yeah.
I think it's because he was the other minority in the group. He's just like, I just need to know the other minority.
Someone said, how did you find the episode, LOL, at the Dessert Squad? So this guy on Facebook was like, the Dessert Wolf, but they just put another S in there.
Yeah.
And so it came off as like Dessert Wolf, and I'm like, I'm still kind of here for that. You know, it'll be delicious. Sounds delicious. Where do I sign up? So, has that whole fake Theo, fake parents thing and breaking his dad's hand ever been brought up? Like, what was the point when it's not like Styles or Scott ever met him? Exactly. That whole thing was dumb. We've talked about it a few times, but Theo's background is just becoming all sorts of hodgepodge that makes no sense. I can answer that one later. In the beginning, I was okay with them keeping some things to themselves, but at this point, 4 years later, I'm just annoyed that they keep dragging Styles' name and all the others all the time. 4 years and you couldn't tell anyone this kid's name because you have to try and keep it from your audience. This show shakes my head. They are not good people.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Here, let's do a couple more and then I think we'll be good. Let me see if we have any from our regulars. Someone said that Hayden and Liam kiss was so stupid, and because she didn't heal, she's a failure. WTF. Do what Kira did and self-harm. That takes the pain away.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, wow.
Miguel. Someone said, what if Styles' real name is Miguel?
I don't even know what to say to that.
I think it's fantastic. And that's why. But someone else said, I think that that's why it would have been a fun reason for him to have called Derek McGill. If he was like, yeah, his name is, about to say his own name and then be like, Miguel. And I was like, oh, that's fun.
Like I said, I just don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care about what his name is. They could have revealed it the season that they actually originally talked about it, and I would have been like, oh, okay. Because I honestly don't care. I don't care.
He said, honestly, what is up with the sheriff arresting people? I mean, now, after all this time. All this time, buddy. Oh my God, you're right. The show is trying to make Scott into Derek. Tonight's episode was Scott blaming himself like Derek did. Like his pack is falling apart just like Derek's. Jesus is such lazy writing. The creators and writers have no respect for their show or characters. They are owned by their advertisers. I said that this show is a billboard for MTV at this point.
It's for Toyota.
And AT&T.
Yeah. Again, these kids are supposed to be damn poor, but they got so much damn money for these expensive ass.
Girl. It's a mess. Oh, here we go. Let's do Lydia X. Martin.
Yeah,
She's
like
fantastic, yeah. Papa Stilinski, are you crazy? Your son straight up murdered like 20 people in that hospital, all of which were innocent, and somehow there is no footage of that or record, nor was there an investigation. But Kira Shanks one chimera, and you want to play Sherlock Holmes. Opinions on the Desert Wolf wanting to kill Malia. Wait, I thought she dragged her from the wreck to save her. Oh no. Hashtag train wreck. At this point, we've heard more about Judy than the doctors. I love the shade. Q&A's podcast and y'all. We love you too, big girl.
Yay.
Yeah, we do know more about Judy at this point. I'm just like, okay.
Well, let me say something.
Mm-hmm.
Videotapes tend to disappear around cops. And it looks like it disappears around their kids, too. Just giving you a world fact.
So, here's the thing. Papa Stilinski's like, I've had to set my badge aside. It would be one thing if he just didn't arrest Styles. But you destroyed evidence where people died, like innocent people died.
And it wasn't like we didn't know there was video cameras, because they showed it from the angles of the video camera.
And so, just this weird moral high ground and the problem is, with the climate that we're living in now, and the way that cops interact with people, and you see Sheriff Stilinski, who is supposed to be our protagonist, exhibiting all those same behaviors to a minority female girl, and you're just like,
the
really,
only one on the show?
Is this where you want to go?
The only one on the
and
show.
It's not like this wasn't happening. Like, yeah, they wrote this back in December, but by that time we had Ferguson and like 20 other things, so I'm like, what made you continue to write the story?
Even before that, we already had Rodney King.
Girl.
I'm like, we're going to really talk.
I mean, Mrs. Simon Lewis, 91, fave. Thea will be a true alpha now, Stacy, LOL. I honestly, after I saw the pack hug and accept Theo into the pack without Styles, I was like, I can't wait for Styles to kill them all next season and then go to prison with Styles and be his cellmate. Yeah.
I'm kind of here for that.
I just, yeah. Oh, that pack hug was everything I needed in life. That's what this show does, because that pack hug has so many implications and so many things that it said, but they're not going to use it. They just think, oh, Theo's in the pack now. He's happy. But I'm like, no, there's so much more.
Well, it's also the fact that you can also think everyone's thinking they're safe, quote unquote, and they're really not.
Yeah. And Theo and his little grins, and he's like, I may be a villain, but dang it, I get caught up in puppy love too.
God.
He's an idiot. We talk a lot about that stupid quote. It would be one thing if that quote were taken out of context, but it wasn't. You were just stupid. This entire season is nothing but filler episodes. Scott's Emmy-worthy scene was trash, pure trash. The setup was good, but his little panic attack was weak. I would have rather seen Scott have a full breakdown in the water plant with Malia Mason struggling to calm him down. I feel bad for Posey because they always hold him back. They always give him basic-ish to do. I'm wondering, out of all the people to send him with, you send him with Malia, who doesn't understand human emotion to begin with, and then you send him with Mason, who he doesn't know. And so I'm like, it should have been Styles and Lydia, honestly, to go with him. It's just I don't know what the point of sending them with him unless they didn't want it to get back to the group how he really acted. Who knows? What do you think the final, so there's supposed to be a huge cliffhanger. What do you think it's going to be?
Everyone gets shot and dies.
That's not necessarily a cliffhanger. That's just a happy ending for us.
Scott's going to get stabbed. Everyone's going to think he's dead. Styles is going to actually turn out to be evil. Same with Theo.
What if Scott gets killed and then everyone thinks that Styles did it?
I would still be here for that because, again, I still think Styles is a serial killer. So, win-win on my part.
I really love the idea of him losing his alpha.
I was always the alpha.
No, don't even get my hopes up like that. That is too much.
I just need Ian to pop up one good time and be like, hey peoples.
How many zeros do you think they have to put on Ian's check for him to come back?
8.
Yeah.
I thought about that.
Yeah. I know you did. I know. I was like, how about heckling?
8 to 9.
I'm thinking like 15. I'm thinking he needs points on the back end, and this show ain't even got a back end. I think he's like, I want anything impossible.
The thing is that if he's smart, he would do the whole, not only would he get that, but he would also want money for extra episodes when they get shown, like syndication type. That's where I'm going with heckling, because heckling's that type of, he's been on TV, he's been on Seven Heaven.
Yeah.
And he knows that Seven Heaven money, because that's on syndication.
How do you go from a show where the dude was basically raping several of these underage or however all these girls, and Teen Wolf is still the worst show that you've ever been on?
Because at least for Seven Heaven they had a decent writing staff.
I know! The ends justify the means, and these ends do not.
I can say there were some episodes of Seven Heaven that I was here for.
Seven Heaven was a mess, but it was messy fun, you know.
Yeah,
it
was good Christian messy.
Good Christian messy fun, Lord.
But it says a
Ruthie,
lot.
Oh my God.
A lot about TV.
Jesse Beals.
Yeah, that's why I said that is still the worst that he's done.
It's so sad.
And no one really wants to remember Seven Heaven.
He has Grizzly Rage. And he has open... I can't remember what the name of the movie is. Teen Wolf is still the worst thing. The worst atmosphere. Oh my God.
And that's the thing. Because no one actually, out of all the WB shows / CW shows, no one remembers Seven Heaven. Like, you have to actually really either...
Oh no, they say they don't remember Seven Heaven.
Yeah.
They remember it, yeah.
But no, people...
It's like One Tree Hill.
I know a lot of people, no, but see, people actually know One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill was on enough time, And then it was also on syndication. It was on Soap Network.
Seventh Heaven was on for a while.
Yeah, but the thing is that One Tree Hill had younger teen people, and people actually liked the drama.
Mm-hmm.
Seventh Heaven was like the Christian family show, so I know a lot of people who actually were like, they've skipped it.
Well, see, and that's funny because the circle, you know, I'm Midwest. Circles I ran around, they would stand for Seventh Heaven.
That's
but
the thing.
that's
My friends growing up in the city would rather have watched One Tree Hill than Seventh Heaven.
I met Hillary Burden once at she stayed at her hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have like a picture with like her autograph and everything on it, but it's so old. But I knew vaguely who she was, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you want to come meet her?" And I was like, "Sure." It's like walk into the room, and there were like 3 blonde girls there, and I was like, "Hey!" But I played it off really well. She was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" And then later she was on White Collar, and so I was like tweeting about it. She actually responded. This is when stars used to respond to IMDb like threads, and she was like, "Oh my god, I remember that. You were so nice." And I was like, oh.
That was really good, though, that she remembers you.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was like, okay, girl.
But yeah, no, that's why I said, I was like, there's definitely, I mean, there's some shows on WB that I would have definitely rather have forgotten.
Oh, so
and
many.
there's a lot that I was like, I'm so happy I got to
Post
see on.
and pre-WB, like Homies in Outer Space, and
that
then,
doesn't
like,
exist to me.
Gossip Girl.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
Which is sad because I love Flex.
Yes.
And I like some of his other shows.
Shanice is going to be the new Dorothy.
I heard.
That's crazy.
That's really cool.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I love Shanice. I love your smile.
But
I really wanted her and David to be together, but, you know.
That's a whole different story.
It just happened.
But yeah, she's going to be the new Dorothy. And then, of course, they just announced the cast for The Wiz, which sounds really good.
Yeah, in The Wiz.
Yeah, that's what I said. They're announcing.
The rest of them.
They've been announcing the rest of the cast. And, they got someone from The Orange Is the New Black. They have the girl from Glee. They have what's that actor's name? Oh God, he's
Smile.
Oh, if I show you his face, you would be like, oh my God, I love him.
What's he in?
I can't. That's the thing. I can't think of his name right now.
Or anything that like he would have been.
I can't think of it right now. That's what I'm saying. Because
We'll
I didn't know he sings until I saw that. I was like, what?
Malik
what?
Yoba sings.
I know.
I saw him in a church play. I was like, what? Malik?
Yeah, he's awesome.
With Tony Terry.
Really?
Lucretia.
Wait.
Tony Terry,
What
Malik Yoba.
What church play were you watching?
It was by,
Was it the one at Warner Theater?
No. It wasn't here. It was way before my time
No, because
here.
he's been here at the Warner Theater for church.
David Talbot.
Oh, really?
And he's the one that I wanted to take off and be successful, but Tyler Perry ended up being the one that took off before. But it was called His Woman, His Wife, and it was off the chain.
Well, the thing is, Tyler's actually a better writer.
Such a better writer.
But we won't say anything about that.
Such a better writer. How is Tyler Perry having a baby? Nope. Never mind. Don't want to know. Nope. So, The Wiz casting.
It's called Sarragan.
Yeah, it is called All of the Test Tube.
But yeah, no, the girl who plays Crazy
touchy.
Eye, she's going to be one of the witches.
Yeah.
But she can sing, like, and that's the thing.
Oh, she can sing, yeah.
She's actually trained, like, operatic training.
I'm surprised Queen Latifah ain't in it.
I was surprised, too, but you never know. Is she still doing Chicago? So that's the thing. I'm not sure if she's still on Broadway right now.
Oh, and okay, so wait, the Broadway version of The Wiz is one thing. NBC is doing a version of The Wiz, and that's the one that has Shanice. Shanice looks so different.
Well, she's gotten older, too.
But Shanice is one of the people that has looked the same age for 35 years.
That's true.
And then, so when she does, like, I feel like when she gets a grandbaby, that's when she's going to start looking like a
the thing is that I know that she's playing Dorothy in The Wiz, but I was going to say, I was like, I'm amazed they actually didn't decide to go with someone younger.
Well, I think they wanted to stick to the whole thing with The Wiz, because, of course, Diana Ross was so much older.
The reason they went with Diana Ross, and this is actually something that's known, is because they wanted to have someone they actually wanted someone younger.
A name.
They wanted a name to actually pick up the name, because even though they had other famous black people in it, they felt that she had the wider range of fans because she was
definitely.
crossover.
Yeah.
Where the other people had a bigger black fan. And of course, Michael Jackson at the time, even though he had white fans through the Jackson 5, he had still mostly black fans. So that, if you really look at that, that's the reason they picked her. Because even though I love Diana Ross, she was a little bit on the old side for that.
Oh, she was a lot on the old side. She was like 40-some when she did it, but she was easing on down, so I said, okay, mama.
I mean, I still love Lady Sings the Blues. It's still one of the greatest movies ever, but I'm just saying, they could have gone to someone in their 20s.
Of course, Ryan with Cupcake puts in like 16 ask as soon as we get done. We're going to talk about you later, Ryan. All right.
Again, I'm just holding up Ryan. I'm going to bug him constantly now online about my... He's the one who started it. He said he lives around the corner from the zoo.
And I told you not to encourage her, and look what you did.
And he told me that he lives near a koala, and now whenever I post something about koalas, I am linking him to remind him that I need a koala in my life.
You see what you've gotten yourself into.
I also accept...
It's your fault, Scott. Ryan.
I also accept from any of the fans stuffed koalas, pictures of koalas, postcards of koalas.
Oh my. As you can see, there's a theme. Girl likes koalas. I, on the other hand, like Dylan O'Brien. So if you want to send me Dylan O'Brien.
You can send
Someone, I was reading this thing, it said something about, are you married, or doesn't your brother have a girlfriend? And she said, my brother has a very complicated relationship with Dylan O'Brien. I was like, I don't know what that means, but that's the best thing I've ever read.
No, that means that her brother has a very complicated relationship
with Dylan O'Brien.
With Dylan O'Brien.
Is that what he calls it? Mm-hmm. I am mad. Say goodnight, Momo.
Hannibal's an amazing show, and everyone should watch it and eat while they watch it, because it's artistically beautiful. And even though they're eating people, it's still amazing and gorgeous. And also, people should send me koalas.
Good night, everyone. Woo!